Hello everyone. Today I am making some homemade potatoes. Homemade french fries from potatoes, obviously. And if you all have never tried doing homemade french fries, you're really missing out. Um, it's just a little bit of a process. You just need to, obviously, you can peel your potatoes or you can just leave them, with the skin on. The skin's better for you. But because I'm making them for me, Lydia, and Selah, I know that there's been a couple people asking about Selah. We've just revamped this channel, and I really hope that you stick around and you will definitely be seeing her. So back to the potatoes. We're gonna just dry these and cut them, and we're gonna do steak size, like the steak fries that you get at restaurants. Those are the best for me. And now I know everybody now Braum's has really good crinkle cut fries, but I know there's people that love those McDonald's french fries. I like McDonald's french fries as long as they're hot and pretty salty. Other than that, not so much. So I'm going to start out by getting a knife, just one of these type of knives, it doesn't matter. I cut mine down the middle. Wait, y'all can't really see it. Cut down the middle and cut down the middle again on the same half. So it's kind of like this, and then you make your steak fries, because steak fries are just a little bit thicker. And then you just start kind of cutting, make it look like this. Maybe like an inch. I don't know, maybe not quite an inch. Anyway, it's a little bit of a process, but they're super good. And they're so much better for you. Now, if you're obviously out and about and you just want some fries, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're at home and maybe money's a little tight and got some potatoes, you can get a 5-pound bag of potatoes for like $3. That's cheap. And then you can make a whole bunch of french fries. So I'm cutting up, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potatoes, and they're not like real big, some of them are kind of smaller, but it's fine. So, some of them aren't real big. These might be about the size of like the shoestring. No, these are a little bit thicker than a shoestring. I don't know, they're different sizes. I don't really make them all proper and perfect, because in the end they're just going to get gobbled up because they're super good. And then as I cut them, I just kind of blot them really good with you can do a paper towel. I have napkins. Blot them really good to get the water off of it, because when you go to put them, whether you do it over the skillet, in the oven, or even like in an air fryer, which I'm doing it in the air fryer today because I'm not doing as many french fries. Now if I was cooking for the whole family, I would put them on a cookie sheet and bake them, because then you can get more on the cookie sheet. So there's different ways of doing it. If you're at home and you want some french fries, and you got some potatoes laying around, this is the way to do it. So you're just gonna cut them up. You know, like I said before, they're not gonna be perfect, just different sizes. Some of them are steak size, some of them are maybe a little bit thicker than a shoestring. And you just kind of blot them with the napkin. Now, I know you're supposed to let them sit for like 30 minutes in water because that kind of pulls out the starch. But I'm not doing that right now. We're kind of on a little time crunch. I've got some errands to run here in a little bit. Mowing season is around the corner. Actually, mowing season is here. We're in Oklahoma. We've already been getting tons of rain and storms, and I've got to get my mower up and running. So I've got to go get a new spark plug for my mower. It's something I change out every season. And then you gotta get your gasoline for the mower. And then I'm going to buy a hand file to just kind of file and sharpen the blades, because I didn't do that last season. And maybe that'll help with the grass. So who else is just so excited about mowing? I'm really not, but it's here and it has to be done. Just like when you want to eat, you gotta cook or go get fast food. So here we are making some potatoes. Gonna turn it into some French fries. Now I have all these other ingredients out, and you're probably wondering what all this is for. Well, this is another thing if you're, you know, maybe short on money and you're at home and maybe you just don't want to go anywhere. And you have all the ingredients to make Braum sauce. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time making Braum sauce, so I don't know what it's gonna taste like, if it'll even be remotely close to tasting like Braum sauce. Have y'all ever made Braum sauce from scratch? Let me know. But, you know, there's a first time for everything, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So with that, you use like ketchup, apple cider vinegar. Sorry, I was just gonna move my camera. Worcestershire sauce. I always like to say it funny. Mayonnaise. Obviously salt. It calls for paprika, but I have smoked paprika. I bet that'll make it taste pretty good. Garlic powder, honey. So, you know, just some real simple ingredients. Simple ingredients, just right in your kitchen. If you have that, then I encourage you to just, you know, try it out. You know, making things from scratch, sometimes it's really better. You don't have all the shelf, you know, stable ingredients in there, so it's gonna be better for you a little bit. You know, it's all about what the ingredients are, really. So I'm gonna give these, I have 3 more to cut. It's 80 degrees here, pretty warm outside, and I am definitely ready for some warmer weather. I know we're still gonna have some cool days ahead because we're not quite, it's not quite officially spring, but we're definitely getting there. And you know, I with this time change, it really kind of messed me up. I slept terrible last night for some crazy reason. I'm thinking that because the time change. Does it mess you all up too when you sleep? And I actually forgot about it. You see it all over social media about the time change, and then here, I forget. I wake up at Sunday morning. I woke up and I looked at my phone and it said 8 something. And then I walked in the kitchen, and then of course my microwave and stove was like, 7, whatever time it was. And so I was so confused. I'm like, wait a second. Didn't it just say 8:03 on my phone? But then I was like, oh yeah. So here we are. It came around quick this time, for some crazy reason. So I'm gonna just dab these a little bit. And then I got a big mixing bowl. I'm going to drop the potatoes in the bowl. I just actually do a few at a time, whatever I can get in the air fryer, because I don't like letting the oil just sit, because then it gets kind of soupy in the bottom. And I don't think it just makes it, so they're still kind of wet, but it's not like bad. But if you leave the oil just sitting in there, I feel like it just doesn't, it makes them kind of soggy, I guess. So, I don't know how everyone else does it, but, so I just do a few at a time, kind of like this right here. And then I'm gonna get some oil out of the cabinet over here. Whatever oil you have on hand, it doesn't matter. If you have olive oil, avocado, grapeseed. Now with your, there's Sayla. She's walking in. She's gonna help me do some French fries. So you just want maybe, I don't know, not even a tablespoon, maybe a half a tablespoon of oil. And you're just gonna coat the fries really good. Get them mixed up really, really good.
Hi guys.
There she is, Miss America. And then just, however much salt you want. I do lightly salted. And then you can kind of go back and add more salt if you want more salt. You don't want too much salt. Or are you the type that there's never too much salt? So I'm gonna open up my air fryer right here. It's decent size. I'm gonna pour the first batch in, and then you just kind of, layer it a little bit. You don't want everything just sitting, you don't want all the French fries just sitting on top of each other. You just want to layer it on the bottom of the pan the best you can. If it's layered a little bit, it's okay. It'll still cook, I promise. So, shut that thing. Now, I'm gonna turn it on, and I set it for like, I don't know, 12 minutes. It really doesn't take that long, especially in the air fryer. And then I just leave it at 370. I think it does pretty good at 370. So while I am doing this first batch of fries, we're gonna do the Braum sauce. And then whatever ketchup you have on hand. I have this ketchup right now, and that's what we're gonna use. If you have organic ketchup, Heinz ketchup, great value ketchup, whatever ketchup you have on hand will work. So I'm going to get all my measuring things. I gotta get in the dishwasher. Okay. I'm just doing like kind of a small batch right now because, like I said before, this is my first time making it. And so you just need to get a half a cup of ketchup. You know, it doesn't have to be completely like perfect, but close enough. It's about progress, not perfection, right? And then your mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise. What about you all? What's your favorite condiment? Is that what you call it? A condiment? Condiment. So mayonnaise is definitely my favorite. And I like Duke's. I think it just tastes better. It has a really good flavor. And it has just real simple ingredients. It has, yeah, it doesn't have like a lot of ingredients. It has like, you know, soybean oil, egg yolks, water, distilled, and cider, vinegar, salt, paprika. So I kind of made the switch a while back, and I'm glad I did. So I just got a little spatula, kind of put it, measured out my half a cup. So I did a half a cup of ketchup and a half a cup of mayo. Duke's mayonnaise is what it is. You can get it at Walmart. You can get like, there's like a bigger size than this, there's this size, and there's even a smaller size. You can get the smaller size and try it out. And I love it on making sandwiches, burgers, especially hamburgers. I love hamburgers and mayonnaise and pickles. Ooh, it's kind of tart. No. And then a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. How do y'all say it? And everybody says it differently. I think it's funny. So a tablespoon of that. Okay. Just a little bit of a shake. And then a tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. And then you want a little bit of honey. This kind of tames down the acid. And then salt, just a little bit of salt, not much. A little bit of garlic powder, not much of that because you don't want it to overpower. Garlic can be very overpowering if you're not careful. A little bit of smoked paprika and a little bit of pepper. And then give it a good mix. I'm just going to use my spatula that I used the mayonnaise with. And then you just got to give it a good mix. So it really does look like Braum sauce though. And hopefully it tastes like Braum sauce. I'm really anxious to get these fries done and see how it tastes with the French fries. With homemade Braum sauce and homemade French fries. That ought to taste pretty good. Well, I'm just going to put my finger. bad. Might be a little bit of more ketchup-y, but still not bad. So, I mean, you can always just kind of add a little bit more seasonings. It's been a little while since I've had Braum sauce, honestly. But I feel like Braum sauce and, you know, the Chick-fil-A sauce, I feel like it all just kind of tastes the same. I mean, kind of. I know people get excited about stuff like that, so I'm going to do this again. I think that's better. I don't know. Well, anyway, sometimes you just got to try things out at home. You might be surprised. Sometimes you can just surprise yourself with what you can do by making things from home. You know, if it tastes gross or bland, you know, you toss it or keep adding more seasonings until you get it right. So I'll just add a little bit more of this. I really like this stuff. I think it tastes good. So it really kind of makes quite a bit, actually. I mean, look at that. That's enough for, I don't know, 2 or 3 people, maybe. So, like, you know, the little clear containers that you get at Braum's, I bet, I don't know, maybe even 4 or 5 people if you put this in the little clear containers. So, just, I'm going to pull this out now, kind of give it a little shake. Actually, it's not going to shake. I'm going to give it a little stir. I do that about halfway through the cooking process. And then while I wait, I will get everything put away. I don't know about you all, but I try to say always clean up as you go, as you're cooking. And this is something I learned along the way. Whenever I first moved out of my parents' house years ago, I didn't know. I remember just getting in the kitchen, making this big old mess, and not really cleaning up as I go. And I've learned that when you clean up as you go, by the time you get done, you're not going to have as much work. So, I don't know if that's what y'all do, but I think it's easier. You just kind of put everything away. So then when you sit down to eat, you're not going to have a big old mess waiting for you when you get done. So it's actually kind of nice. See, I had to break out my shorts today because it's just hot. I haven't even turned on the air conditioner. And I don't know if I want to because I know there's going to be some cooler days still ahead. What do you all do? Do y'all turn the air conditioner on when it's hot outside? Because it's supposed to be about 82 degrees. I got the windows open right now and with a ceiling fan going. But I don't like doing that back and forth, like where it's hot one day and then cold the next. And then you gotta go back and forth. I don't know if that's really good on the air unit. I don't like doing that. So, what do you all do? I just try to keep the windows open and keep the air circulating as much as I can. And the tree pollen is really high right now because of everything, you know, all the blooming, like the, what are the white trees? Is it dogwood, or maybe it's, no, not dogwood. What's it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The trees that get the white blooms in the springtime. Is it Bradford pear trees? Or maybe it's dogwood. I can't remember. So anyway, the first batch of French fries is just about done here. And we'll see just how they taste. And I'm gonna bring Selah in, and she's gonna actually be the first one to try it out. So it's either gonna be something we'll keep making, or, you know, maybe it's just something that, if it's not great, we'll just keep improving, right? Isn't that what we need to do with things in life? If something isn't working, what can we keep doing to improve, you know? So, you know, like another thing I'm looking forward to with all this beautiful weather coming up is being able to, you know, get out and go on a trail, hiking, and, you know, go fishing or camping, you know, just getting outside at night, or I know, you know, kind of whatever. If you all like doing that, what do you like to do for fun going outside, just to relax and just soak up the vitamin D and the beautiful nature that God gifted us with? So we got one more minute on the old air fryer here with the French fries, and then we're gonna give this a go. Let's see what happens. So I had this grapeseed oil. We do a lot of cast iron cooking. Now I know that you can use probably like vegetable oil, I think, to coat cast iron. But when you clean a cast iron skillet after you get done cooking it, whatever you cook in it, I just lightly oil it with this grapeseed oil. Now if I don't have it and I just have vegetable oil, I just use it too. So just keeping it oiled is what maintains the life. So here's Selah, and she's gonna be the guinea pig of the homemade Braum sauce. The homemade Braum sauce.
You call me fat?
No, guinea pigs aren't fat. They're cute. They're cute and cuddly. That's what they are. We grab a bowl. Will you grab a bowl real quick? Yeah, just like glass bowl. Yeah, that'll work. Well, some of them were kind of sticking a little bit, but that's okay.
Is that Braum sauce?
This is Braum sauce, and I hope I don't disappoint. I hope it's not disappointing. So we're just gonna put all this in a little bowl here. You know, I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 13 years, and I worked full-time for years. But being a stay-at-home mom is work in itself, you know, but I have learned so much being a stay-at-home mom. And you know what? I forgot to put oil on these. So I'm gonna dump these back in the pan real quick. My little mixing bowl. I forgot to put oil on it. I do that sometimes. I forget things. But anyway, I have learned so much. But it doesn't matter, you know, if you even work, just try new things. It's amazing what we're really capable of doing. It is so amazing. Sometimes when we think we can't do something, we really can do something. So, don't feel like you can't. Because if you want to really try something, just get in there and get after it. Don't be afraid. So a while back, I was trying to get into like the sourdough cooking, like the bread and stuff. And I was, oh my gosh, I was terrible at it. Like the bread was not working for me. So then I gave up. I stopped doing it. And then I kind of just got back into just doing regular bread making. Just, you know, the yeast, the salt, flour, butter, and an egg. Like if you wanted to put, depending on what kind of bread you're making. So, and I just really worked hard at just really learning how to make bread. Now, it's definitely not, I don't know if it's really cheaper. It might be cheaper than buying a loaf of bread, because you can buy a loaf of great value bread for super cheap. But you know, you got all the shelf ingredients in there, and it does last longer in your pantry or your fridge, you know, however you store your bread. But man, it's making homemade bread. It's so good. And I'm going to do that sometime. I'm going to make some bread and we're going to do it together, and I'll show you how to do it. But anyway, I really want to do, I want to get back into doing the sourdough bread. Now that I feel more confident with my bread making, I'm going to get back into doing sourdough. So that's what I'm going to do. So my challenge for you all is do something new. And if it's something that you've been thinking about doing and you're not confident with it, just do it. You know, you just never know what can happen. It'll either turn out really good, or you just keep, you know, pick back up and keep going, you know. So, it's just amazing what we're really capable of doing. So anyway, Selah left the room again, and it looks like I'm going to be the one to try out the French fry and the Braum sauce. So I'm not going to double dip. I try not to double dip, but if it's just me, then I do. Ooh, kind of hard. It's good. Not bad. Actually, I think it tastes pretty close to Braum sauce. And it looks like Braum sauce. So that's a good sign. That's what it looks like. So, anyway, you know, like I said before, make yourself some homemade French fries. It might be a little time consuming, but it's so easy to do. And if you kids are at home and got an air fryer and you want some French fries and you got a potato or two hanging around the house, as long as it's not rotten, make yourself some homemade French fries. I mean, they're so good. A little bit of oil, whatever oil you have on hand, whatever salt you have on hand. It can be you know, I have the all natural sea salt, but you know, if you have, you know, like the Morton table salt, whatever, try it out. It's super good. I hope you all have a really great day and enjoy whatever beautiful days ahead. Talk to you soon.